And here is the Writer's Almanac for Sunday, the 8th of December, 2019. It's the birthday of the man who said humor is emotional chaos remembered in tranquility. James Thurber, born in Columbus, Ohio, 1894, remembered today for his stories such as The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Came out in 1944 in The New Yorker, the story of a henpecked husband who fantasizes about a life of daring adventure. He started submitting pieces to The New Yorker in 1926, and they kept coming back. He said, "My pieces came back so fast, I began to think The New Yorker must have a rejection machine." But he caught on, joined the staff, and he was assigned to an office with E.B. White. They became friends, and they wrote a book together entitled Is Sex Necessary? It's the birthday of the poet and short story author Delmore Schwartz, born in Brooklyn, 1913. Studied philosophy, wanted to become a poet. One summer, when he was in college, he locked himself in his apartment for a month, and he wrote a short story called In Dreams Begin Responsibilities. It was published in the Partisan Review, and it made Delmore Schwartz famous. The story was based on Schwartz's own life. He sits watching his parents' courtship unfold on a movie screen. And when his father proposes marriage, the author begs them to reconsider, to not marry and have children. Delmore Schwartz, who was one of the most promising writers of his generation, fell into the abyss of alcohol and mental illness, died of a heart attack in 1966, and nobody claimed his body for 3 days. And it was on this date in 1660, a professional female actress appeared on the English stage in a production of Othello, one of the earliest known instances of a female role actually being played by a woman. Women were considered too fine, too sensitive for the rough life of the theater. And so the people who came to this performance of Othello, 1660, were handed a disclaimer telling them that they would see a woman on stage, that men are just too big and burly to play these roles. It said, "With bones so large and nerves so uncompliant, when you call Desdemona, enter giant." It's the birthday of the novelist Mary Gordon, born Far Rockaway, New York, 1949, grew up in a Catholic household for a time, wanted to be a nun, but went to Barnard, got a master's in writing, went to work on a PhD on Virginia Woolf. She was almost finished with it, but felt like it was getting in the way of her own fiction writing. And reading Woolf made her want to write her own work, so she did. Final Payments, The Company of Women, Temporary Shelter, The Love of My Youth. It's the birthday of Bill Bryson, Des Moines, 1951, who, after writing many travel books, promised his wife he would write a book from home, and he wrote a book about home entitled At Home, A Short History of Private Life. Here's a poem for today by Naomi Cochran, Waiting in Line for Eternity. The final checkout lane, miles and miles and miles long, not a shopping cart in sight. How am I going to pay for my life? How will I account for what's missing? We shuffle along, no turning back. Will it matter who I loved, what I loved, why I loved? Check me out. Check me in. Forgive my passions. Give me time. Waiting in Line for Eternity by Naomi Cochran from her collection Fill in the Blank, Collected Poems 2005 to 2016, published by Just a Thought Press and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.